Right, new day at Mark's Garage Channel. I'm determined to get this door stripped out and hung. I don't know if I'll hang it today, but I got to figure out how to get this window out and get the regulator out. And from what I remember, I was trying yesterday to crank on, and I had a vice grip on here. I don't want to ruin the splines, so I had it grabbed down low. I was trying to twist it. It won't move. But I'm thinking maybe if I take the regulator itself out, and I know there's one screw, I think it was this one. Yeah, it's this one. I can't get out. Now, it looks like I stripped out the Phillips head trying to get it out before. I'm going to try it one more time with the Phillips screwdriver. If that doesn't work, what I did on this one here, I welded a nut to it. But then it just snaps the screw. You see the screw is just still in there. I imagine the same thing would happen here. I'll snap it, but then maybe I could drop the regulator and maybe to get it to move around, get that window to drop, or take it out altogether. I also tried getting this nut off to get this vent window out. That's not coming. So there's a lot to do on this door. I was successful. You really can't see it, but there was a dent in the door on the underside, you know, on the outside. There's still a little left, but I was able to reach down there with my hockey stick and the hammer and knock that dent out. There's still a little bit of crease left to it, but I think I can tap it out with the heel of the, you know, the heel and dolly thing, or dolly I guess it's called. I use that as a hammer. It might come out. So let me get started on this and see what I can get done. So of course the screwdriver wouldn't, you know, it dug out the thing. So I got this nut. I'm gonna sit it right on top of there. I'm gonna dig out my little MIG welder, wire-fed flux core welder, and just try to weld that nut right to the top of the screw. We'll see what happens. The trick to this, I think, is getting a good ground. So I put the ground right to the vice grip. Of course, I need plenty of light so I can see what I'm doing. And of course, now it doesn't arc. Wow, you think that's hot? I'm gonna let that cool down for a bit. Actually, I can quench it maybe with some oil underneath. That'll make a nice little mess. I'm gonna go find a wrench to try to twist that. I expect it's gonna twist the head right off. It's not gonna loosen the nut. Look at that. That sucker's hot. If I need to heat anything, I really need to heat the nut underneath. There's probably a cage nut under there. It needs to be heated up. So let me go grab a wrench and try to twist on that. See what happens. Alright, here goes. Let's see what happens. Get it from this side. I like using a wrench. I can kind of feel for what's happening. I'm probably just flexing the stem of that screw and it's gonna break off any second now, my guess. Maybe I'll get lucky, but it's turning way too easy. Maybe I got lucky, who knows? Seems to be coming. Some more oil into there. Let it seep down onto the threads, now that if they're exposed actually. And I was looking at this door, I was like, holy cow, I got a lot of work to do on the door itself. The thing I want to do is, and this is coming from both Joe Sousa and Glenn at Redneck Coachworks, you gotta put the door on to get the step to line up. And the step you need to locate the cab corner, I think. So you kind of gotta put everything together at the same time, which is more than I kind of bargained for, but you know, you get what you get. Hindsight, should I have bought a truck ready to go? Sure, why not? But will I enjoy driving a truck that I built myself? Absolutely. Look at the 47 behind me. I touched probably every nut and bolt on that truck. And I love bringing it to shows, talking to people and telling them what I did. And they ask me, you know, what'd you do to this? I tell them. Basically restored it from the inside out. I think this is coming out. I think I got lucky here. Look at that. See the regulator dropped? And now I can use a screwdriver. Take this out. And maybe with the regulator dropping, I can maybe lubricate it better. Yeah, you see it's falling down. If I lubricate it better, maybe I can get it to spin. Get it to spin, maybe I can drop the window. If I drop the window, I can get to the screws to get the window off the track. Now I can kind of get oil in here, here, here. Well, I got all the screws out of the door. They're coming out of the door. The regulator dropped straight down, but I can't get the regulator or the window to move, and the regulator won't spin. I was hoping by applying some oil in there, I can maybe loosen some stuff up. I'm looking around underneath. See if there's any place I could spray that I haven't sprayed already. Not seeing much. But we'll try some more oil in there. What the heck? I'm sure it's making a mess in there, but as long as it penetrates something. But I've already hit, you know, all, let's see. I'll show you this. Turn this around. So I've oiled that. Oiled that. There's 4 points, 2 on top, 2 on the bottom track, 2 on the top track. I've oiled those, and you know the window's not going to go down unless I guess the regulator spins, which is kind of really too bad. And I was hoping, you know, if I could take the vent window out, maybe I'd have some room to work moving around a bit, but I can't get the vent out because that screw down there won't spin. And I've oiled that as well, and you can't get a wrench on it, but I can get a vice grip on it and it still doesn't move. I'll probably just twist off of the, looks like a stud going to here. I'll probably just break the stud off there if I give it a good twist. But I'll keep working this until I get it out. Let me show you what I did here. I pushed on top of the window here and it started to move down. I don't know if it's moving in the track. Yeah, the track seems to be sliding. So that exposes, there's some screws I think holding the window in the frame to the track. Let me bring this over here. Now that the track is down, I expose that screw. I expect there's one probably behind here or further in that way. But now that I can move the window down and up, I can start to get things done. Hopefully I'll get this window out, get the regulator out, and maybe, yeah, this is moving right along now. Let's see what happens next. So you see I separated the window from the regulator now. This is the regulator track, attached to the regulator. Once I got that out, now I got the window sliding. And there's a trick to getting it like way down. I think you rotate it and it should come out. I think it comes out before the vent window, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm going to keep trying to move things around to get it out, but it seems to be moving along now. I'll tell you, it's not out yet, but it wants to come out. I got the window basically off the regulator, slid all the way down. This is kind of like a weather strip. They sell this. I put this into the 47. I remember it's a pain in the neck, but I should just take it out, get it out of the way, and maybe that'll give me enough room to get the window out. I loosened took all the screws out around the perimeter of this vent. I was hoping this maybe comes out as an assembly. It might, for all I know, but I'm just doing something wrong. It's not coming out, but I don't know. I'll figure it out. Yeah, that was the trick. I just took that piece out. It was there. Then this loosened right up. I take this out practically with one hand. That's out of the way. As soon as that's out of the way, the window will come up out of the way. Then I can pull the regulator out. I should probably put this in time lapse. You can see me working. Let me see if I can do that. Yeah, it didn't work out too well since the camera was on the door and I'm shaking the door, but it hasn't come out yet. I think there's still something caught on a track or something. It wants to come out, but it's not coming out just yet. Well, there it is. Window, regulator, vent window. The trick to the vent window, turn it 90 degrees, the assembly slides right out. That little flag thing there, I kept banging into it, but so now all this stuff has to get cleaned up, but I don't have to do that for a while. The trick was I want to get this door cleaned up and hung and swinging on the body, on the A-pillar, and making sure I can line it up. Now, I fought with that door on the 47 numerous battles. It's still not right. So I don't know if my luck's going to be any better with this one, other than I know it was in a good place when I started. But now that the hinges are rebuilt and hammered on, who knows what's going to happen. So I'll save that for another video. I think the next step is really to clean this door up. Now see, it will need repairs here, which I plan on doing. I could, patch this. And oh, I know what I want to mention. I guess there's some piece of weather strip, not weather strip, a piece of trim that goes right here. It covers the weather strip. I don't know what it's called, but if anybody knows where I can get that, or anybody has a couple laying around, hit me up. And I'll leave it at that. I'll put that on my board of things I'm looking for. Thanks for watching.